sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort. Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. And I'm making sense out of the senseless. That's right, I'm back. I know, it's been a hectic couple weeks for the show. I do apologize. It has been really, really weird. Now my board's acting up again. Got to tap the controllers. But you know what that means. The Jersey Takeover's here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. All you have to do is go to Reaver.one and click on the live stream. You can listen to the show and you can watch the show live and join the conversation all at the same time from one easy site. Now, if you want to support the show, or if you just want to get some cool-ass t-shirts, go to Reaver.one/shop. That is REAVER.ONE/SHOP. So, there's a Trump speech coming up that I'm going to patch in. So, actually, just give me 1 second. There we go. Everything nicely patched in. So as soon as he starts giving the speech, he's going to be doing a defense policy speech. We'll patch that in. Well, it looks like, and I've been saying this a lot lately, and I'm saying a lot more, it seems the left is eating itself. It is eating its tail, so to speak. The left the media is self-censoring. It has fired two of its, one was a TV personality, and the other one was a writer. And I kind of feel bad for them because they spoke the truth, and what did it get them? It got them fired for speaking, not even speaking the truth. They give an opinion on something, which... That's pretty much what the left does, is constantly giving their opinion, and they got fired for it. One gave a medical opinion because he's a doctor. Another one wrote an opinion-based article. Dr. Drew, as we all know, he was fired. But what some people don't know is that there was some pressure, as they call it, a mafia-style pressure, that if he recanted his statements saying that he's worried about Hillary's health, which, Jesus Christ, he showed concern for another human being. How many times have we heard it from the left, we have to have compassion and all this crap? He shows compassion and gets fired. And he was just basing it on the information he had at hand. He didn't quantify saying this is definitely 100% about her. It's... They know there's an issue. They're trying to hide the issue. Oh, God. Hillary was in Tampa, Florida. She was not too far from my house. And It was like nails on a chalkboard, and I wasn't even there, and I can hear it. Has anybody noticed one thing about her rallies? She doesn't talk about what she's doing. She keeps saying she's going to talk about what she is going to do as a president. But all I hear ever is Trump, 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 Trump. Trump, 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 Trump. That's all we hear, her attacking Trump. Not what she's going to do as president. Just what? Trying to nitpick somebody else. You know, it's easy to pick other people apart. It's easy to attack other people. Try to talk about what you're going to do, which Trump has been doing. Yes, he does attack Hillary, but he also, because he's under such scrutiny from the left media, is he has to talk about what he would do as a president. And the only thing they can do is he doesn't talk about it. He has vague terms. Bullshit. He has talked specifics along the way. What is he supposed to do? Sit down one day, give a 24-hour speech of everything? This coming from the left media that protected elect me because of hope and change. Elect me because of hope and change. Don't ask why I did the Nixon quotation, air quotations just now, but I did. I'm serious. It's one candidate didn't give specifics on shit, and the left covered it up. We got called a racist for questioning it. I mean, seriously, what was his whole campaign? Hope and change, hope and change. Now we're all hoping we have some change in our pocket, which we don't. But to admit that we're worse off than 7.5 years ago, 8 years ago, you're a racist. Just remember that. If you do not fall in line, you are a racist. It makes me laugh. Someone I know recently who doesn't get all that involved in politics, they were talking to me and they were going off about the left. And they were just like, why the goddamn... I just looked at it and went, you're a racist. They're like, what the fuck? What did I say that I was racist? I don't know. I'm just, there was nobody here from the left to defend themselves, so I thought I would jump in. Oh, man, I thought I was going to get my ass kicked. It was funny, but I almost got my ass kicked for it. And I'm serious. It's just... God. I don't know. It's just everything is a toss up in the air. And I was watching, had Fox on. I put the news on, so if there's any breaking news during the show or right before the show, I can get it out on air to everybody. And trying to see if I can get somebody to call into the show. But yeah, they're going over the polls, and it was almost hysterical watching these two Fox idiots, and the numbers are pointing towards Trump, and they're so afraid to actually give him a compliment. He's doing everything that he's been asked by the right. And actually, I want to stop right here. Since I wasn't on yesterday, I want to send my condolences out to the Phyllis Schifley family. My condolences, and I'm sorry. Why that popped back in my head is, did anybody see the disgusting Twitters that were going about? Now, I'm kind of expecting it out of the left nowadays. Well, a theory of mine got proven. the so-called never-Trumpers, well, I should say the never-Trumpers that are so-called conservatives, proved that they are just a liberal in a conservative clothing. They even attacked Phyllis Schlafly. It was a disgusting act. Even when Obama dies, I will go the old route. If you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Route. There's not many people that I would wish death on. Yes, there is a few. And to be the people like the one that shot my dad. Some of them are already dead. Hitler. Those types of people. But because I don't agree with someone politically, and just because they may be trying to destroy the basis of the United States, that still does not mean I wish ill harm on people. I might think different politically on abortion, but I'm not going to think ill on people. I'm not taking that far. I'm wondering if this country is going to be able to come back together. I really do. Because right now, we got such a split in this country. Such ungodly split. It's no one's giving an inch. No one wants to be the one that steps forward and says, you know what, we're going to step forward and be the big man. We're going to try to mend the fences. And I don't blame them. I don't blame how nobody wants to flinch. But what scares me is what I see coming next. Because you're either going to see some kind of political, racial war in this country. I do not want to see that at all. Or you're going to see a split of the country. And that's not going to work out. Because how are you going to split the country? You're going to make people move because they have different political ideologies. Who gets what sections? Who gets what? How do you split it? If you look at the maps, there's a lot of areas within states that are majority conservatives, but you get to the major cities, and it's where the high populations are, but it's a small area, are Democrat. How would you split those states? How would you split the country? I don't want to see any of this, but I'm sitting back and just watching stuff. And I don't even know if the left could live with itself because they're now fighting themselves. It's getting more than two factions, really. It's breaking into more. The left's created for better or worse term, a Frankenstein. And the Frankenstein's out to destroy its creator. So, it's a weird America we're in right now. And go on to another subject. There's a new study that came out that's saying ethanol is worse for the environment than gasoline. And it doesn't shock me because a lot of things were pushed on us without a lot of testing. Because it almost seems like a jilted lover of gasoline, of fossil fuels. And that's what Oh, and real quick, I forgot to tell you the reporter that was fired. Where's his name? I know it's Seaman from Huffington Post. He mostly wrote on inflation, and he was an economical writer. So, but back to the ethanol. It just seems like there's a lot of people that have this like jilted lover status with gasoline. And they don't care what it is. They just jump on the next bandwagon. They just want it replaced. They don't care. And pretty much everything with this global warming, climate change, the name changes constantly, always change. I mean, now we are climate change. No shit, climate changes. But it's falling apart. We have record amount of ice loss in the Antarctic. We're going to set up trips to go to the Antarctic, and we're going to prove that there's no ice. Can you start sending helicopters in our ships? Our ship got stuck in the icebreakers that came to break us out of the ice. Well, they had to turn back because the ice is too thick for them to get our ship out. But it's nope. It's bad. It's bad. There's not enough ice. Even though there's a record amount of ice, it's nope. All right, we're going to plan a trip to the Arctic. Shit. We're going to have to cancel that trip. Oh, well, you see, the sun isn't at the right angle. The Earth's rotation is off, and yeah, there's that thing that there's a record amount of ice right now, and we can't go up there to, fudge the numbers anywhere where we need. I mean, twice now. Excuse me, 3 times technically. Twice to the Arctic, they had to cancel because the ice was too thick. And now you have a ship that went up there during the summer to prove, well, there's summertime. Should be a lot of ice. We're going to be able to sail through this area because there's a decrease in ice in the Arctic. Yeah, they're like 3 weeks behind schedule because there's so much ice. It's every time they open their mouth in June of 2015. New York City will be underneath 10 to 15 feet of water. Oh, here it is. September of 2016. And New York's not underwater. Every single prediction. Their ethanol is worse for the environment. Ethanol, I hate that shit in my gas because it seems like it's just a filler. And it's, I got worse goddamn gas mileage with that shit in my car. And I burn through more fuel now. Ethanol was pushed on us just as a quick replacement. These electric cars are not ready. Solar power has God knows how many drawbacks. Do I have that article? Let me see if I have that article. The solar panels. Here it is. California subsidized solar power incinerators. Solar power incinerates 2 birds per hour. The only good news for California's widely subsidized Ivan solar electric generating system is that it has reduced its rate of incinerating wild birds from 10 to 2 per hour. The solar electric generating system opened in California Mojave Desert in February 2014 as the world's largest solar power plant. With 350,000 movable mirrors covering 5 square miles, light is reflected into concentrated energy beams onto 3 40-story tall towers to boil water and create electricity. So to give you an idea, it's basically a bunch of goddamn mirrors that reflect the sunlight to a central point that then heats water, causing it to boil, creating electricity. The 400-megawatt facility, a joint venture between NRG Energy, Google, and BrightSource Energy, cost $2.2 billion to build, but was subsidized, surprisingly, with an Obama administration $1.6 billion federal loan guarantee. Underneath SB 871, Northern California PG&E Utility is forced to pay a premium price of $57 a megawatt hour for solar power versus $35 a megawatt hour for electric produced from natural gas. But an extreme example of how the economic idiocrats of sustainable energy and crony capitalism play together, PG&E has paid Ivan $200 a megawatt hour during the summer and $135 a megawatt hour during the rest of the year. The plant has also received huge California subsidies that include a 30% investment tax credit for buying solar capital assets and guaranteed that utilities will buy all Ivan's electric generation, despite the time of day or level of system demands. And Ivan is not even efficient at producing electric power, but it turned out to be the first in class at slaughtering about 28,000 wild birds in its first year, with the facility only operating an average of about 8 hours a day. The facility was killing about 10 birds an hour. Workmen referred to birds that flew through the death ray light beams as streamers because they ignited in midair like a comet and then plummeted to the ground, trailing in smoke. It has killed at least 67 golden eagles, 80 American kestrels, 57 burrowing owls, 172 red-tailed hawk over a period of 10 years. They have replaced floodlights with LED bulbs that attract fewer insects that the birds feed on. Attached anti-perching spikes to the frame of the 3 towers. Added devices that make loud recorded broadcasts. Added high-pitched shrilling noises. And fitted each tower with machine-emitting non-lethal avian respiratory irritants used by farmers to protect crops. It's just, it makes me really laugh. It does. They fail to look at all the issues. It costs more money to generate. Costs more money to generate this electricity. Breaking the banks of Americans nonstop. On top of this smoky mess is the reality that solar power, by definition, is an intermittent energy source that is unavailable every night and affected by overcast skies. Engineers refer to electrical power streams that are intermittent as a dirty resource because the utilities infrastructure must include another 100% fossil fuel power backup. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, ICRN Network, Red Nation Rising, YouTube, Spreaker, and iTunes. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, at Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our Gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. And we also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
My name is Chris Peranto, call sign Tonto. I was with the Global Response Staff. We were the security element for the Central Intelligence Agency in Benghazi, Libya on 9/11/2012. Myself and my team responded to an attack that killed Ambassador Chris Stevens, Sean Smith, and two of my teammates, Tyrone Woods and Glenn Doherty. Radical Islam is basically terrorism in a nutshell. It wants to not only put down Western values, it wants to kill anybody that supports those Western values, which is freedom, which is Christianity, and which is also anything that looks poorly on Sharia law. We've allowed it again to grow into something that it shouldn't be, and it's becoming stronger and stronger every day that we don't lead from the front. Obama and Hillary, by avoiding the phrase radical Islam, they're being politically correct. They don't see it for what it is, and that's straight up destroying the Western world. Radical Islam doesn't have a fear. They will give up their lives. They will detonate themselves. They will do anything they can to fulfill Sharia law and kill the infidels. If we're not able to even say radical Islam, the word radical Islam, there's no way we can fight it. There's no way we can defeat it. The United States of America doesn't lead from behind. We are always setting the example. If not, we're going to see terrorism get bigger and bigger, and eventually it's just going to be continual lone wolf attacks in the United States. And I don't want that to happen to my kids. I don't want to see my family go through that. Please join me in waking up Washington in this fight on radical Islam, seeing the threat that it really is. Sign up at leadingfromthefront.org.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplansdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go to shrmedia.com every day, 11 to 1, and catch the show. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to reaver.one/shop. That is reaver.one/SHOP. So I just saw an article that just blew my mind. I didn't save it, but there is a college in California that is now offering segregated housing so the black students do not have to deal with microaggressions. I'm trying to figure out, how did the Republicans fight for all those years to get civil rights? And Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and all the others that championed to end segregation. And now the Democrats have somehow convinced these black communities, these black groups, that segregation is the best way to go. And they now have them, they have the blacks championing for segregation. Something that they fought for, now they want. I mean, they fought to end segregation. Now they're fighting to have segregation. It doesn't make sense at all. It makes zero sense. How many gave their lives to end segregation? Just so these ill-informed people can be brainwashed into pushing for segregation. I don't understand it. I just... The party of tolerance and choice has no tolerance and no choices. Democrat Party is going to go down again on the wrong side of history. I don't understand it. So Hillary, because she's never in the news anymore. The only time she's in the news is when she's giving great speeches and taking questions from reporters. And yes, I was able to say that with a straight face without laughing. She's now warning of the conspiracy theory machine factory. Yes, she is now blaming for something original that she's never done before. She is now blaming all of her problems on the right-wing conspiracy. She actually stated that she believes she created so many jobs in the story of conspiracy theory machine factory because, honestly, they never quit. They keep coming back. So anything that is against her is automatically a conspiracy theory. She said the FBI had already investigated her email habits and that the report debunked all of the additional lies that were exposed as a result. It was not debunked. You were covered up. And they didn't say you did not do wrong. It very well said you did wrong. She went on to say that this report answered all the questions. No, it didn't. The findings include debunking his latest conspiracy theory. Everything is a conspiracy theory out of this woman. And you can go back to, what, it was at 93, I think it was. She gave a interview about the sex scandal surrounding her husband, Monica Lewinsky, all the others. It was a right-wing conspiracy. When the email situation first came out, she said that it is a non-issue. Nothing happened. It is a right-wing conspiracy theory. The fact that she has trouble walking, that she goes into these severe coughing fits. It is a right-wing conspiracy theory, people. This woman takes no responsibility for herself. None. Zip, zilch. Everything is everybody else's fault. And it just blows my mind that people buy into it. People actually believe her. I've heard 5-year-olds come out with better theories than this woman. She also complained that too many Republicans focused on partisan conspiracy theorizing instead of working together to solve problems. Because Lord knows that woman has worked so well with Republicans. As she said, her number one enemy that she's proud of is the Republican Party. Hillary Clinton is also trying to brand everyone as an extremist. If you do not agree with her, it is a right-wing conspiracy, and you are an extremist because you do not believe her. She is going to some of the bottom of the barrel go-to for liberals. Problem is, well, I'm hoping the problem would be that she's hit that barrel too many times. She's gone to that barrel too many times, and that people are seeing and starting to understand the bullshit that is her. And I'm starting to think that people are starting to see into her bullshit. There is a 10-point swing that CNN polls have done towards Donald Trump's favor. It was noted that polls averages, such as the one maintained by Real Clear Politics, show Clinton's lead slipping from an 8-point high to about a 2.4. A movement that has contributed to fading negative influences from Trump's disastrous August post-convention period. All the polls since late last week have shown her lead at 2 points or less, or Trump ahead or tied, except for MSNBC Monkey Poll, which it's 4 points in the four-way race. It's pointed out another important sign from overseas, a dog whistle about the popular uprising that's going on in the world, namely the drumming suffered by Angela Merkel's party in Germany's state election. You could also take a look at BritX. We have a movement going across the globe. Across the globe, we have we just have a movement. Germany is starting to free itself from this socialism bullshit. People bought into their lies, and they've seen the destruction. And as one pundit put it, is that they have seen and said for about 2 years or more, the people are not happy and the peasants are rising up. It's a lot of people were promised a lot. Oh, they were promised everything under the sun under Obama's candidacy. And those that have more than 2 brain cells see that they were lied to. Plain out and out, they were lied. And none of it's coming true, and they're pissed. They're in worse shape than they were before. Not many are doing better. You have Trump going to Mexico to talk to the president of Mexico. And what do you have Hillary doing? Rubbing elbows with celebrities and campaigning for money. In August, it was, 32, 33 rallies for Trump? Hillary had 17, if that. And that's going on the high side. I think it's closer to 11 or 12. The Clinton campaign thinks that they could sit back and that Trump is going to destroy himself. So they can think back because she thinks it's owed to her. Someone lied to her. Nothing's owed to anybody. She got told it's her turn. Sit back. Trump will destroy himself. Now, Trump's getting stronger. You have in these CNN polls, Trump, ahead by 2? And that's still with those polls being tampered with. So if they have to tamper with the polls to get them that close, what are the real polls saying? That is the thing I look at. I'm looking at a bunch of different data, a bunch of different numbers all over the board. And, of course, you got the left saying a lot of this data doesn't mean nothing. When it's not in their favor, they say it doesn't mean nothing. The difference between the rallies, you look at the online polls, they are landslides in one way. I think this campaign, there is very little truth to actually what's going on. Hillary is spending millions and millions of dollars. And look at the numbers. It's almost the same thing that happened during the primary. All these politicians were spending millions of dollars. Millions. And it didn't hurt Trump. And he just kept trucking along. Because that's the thing that I like about him. And maybe some of these politicians need to take some notes. Because for years, Democrats, all they had to do was make up false accusations, racism, sexism, one of the isms, and the candidate would be chasing his tail for months, chasing that negative. In the meantime, the Democrat would be just sitting there, trucking along, doing what they needed to do. Now you have Trump that comes along and goes, not a racist. Next question. Let's go on. He doesn't chase the rabbit. He doesn't go on chasing that rabbit. He just makes his comments and goes on. We're going to patch in Trump speaking right now.
And top experts who know both how to win and how to avoid endless wars that we're caught up in, like the one we have right now that just never, ever ends, our longest war. Just yesterday, 88 top generals and admirals endorsed my campaign. And these people are fantastic. Thank you. In the Trump administration, our actions in the Middle East will be tempered by realism. The current strategy of toppling regimes with no plan for what to do the day after only produces power vacuums that are filled simply by terrorists. Gradual reform, not sudden and radical change, should be our guiding objective in that region. We should work with any country that shares our goal of destroying ISIS and defeating radical Islamic terrorism. And we're going to form new friendships and partnerships based on this mission and this mission alone. We now have an administration and a former Secretary of State who refuse to say radical Islamic terrorism. And unless you're going to say the words, you're never going to solve the problem. It's very simple. Immediately after taking office, I will ask my generals to present to me a plan within 30 days to defeat and destroy ISIS. This will require military warfare, but also cyber warfare, financial warfare, and ideological warfare, as I laid out in my speech on defeating radical Islamic terrorism several weeks ago. Instead of an apology tour, which you saw President Obama give over and over again, I will proudly promote our system of government and our way of life as the best in the world, just like we did in our campaign against communism during the Cold War. We will show the whole world how proud we are to be Americans. At the same time, immigration security is a vital part of our national security. We only want to admit people to our country who will support our values and love our people. They have to love our people. These are, in fact, the pillars of a sound national security strategy. Unlike my opponent, my foreign policy will emphasize diplomacy, not destruction. Hillary Clinton's legacy in Iraq, Libya, Syria has produced only turmoil and suffering and death. Her destructive policies have displaced millions of people. Then she has invited these refugees into the West with no plan to screen them, including veteran health care costs. And this was just announced and read over the last number of weeks. The price of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan will total approximately $6 trillion. We could have rebuilt our country over and over again. Yet after all this money was spent and lives...
All right, well, it's getting that time. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Planet Radio, ICRN Network, Red Nation Rising, YouTube speaker, and iTunes. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
My name is Chris Peranto, call sign Tonto. I was with the Global Response Staff. We were the security element for the Central Intelligence Agency in Benghazi, Libya on 9/11/2012. Myself and my team responded to an attack that killed Ambassador Chris Stevens, Sean Smith, and two of my teammates, Tyrone Woods and Glenn Doherty. Radical Islam is basically terrorism in a nutshell. It wants to not only put down Western values, it wants to kill anybody that supports those Western values, which is freedom, which is Christianity, and which is also anything that looks poorly on Sharia law. We've allowed it again to grow into something that it shouldn't be, and it's becoming stronger and stronger every day that we don't lead from the front. Obama and Hillary, by avoiding the phrase radical Islam, they're being politically correct. They don't see it for what it is, and that's straight up destroying the Western world. Radical Islam doesn't have a fear. They will give up their lives. They will detonate themselves. They will do anything they can to fulfill Sharia law and kill the infidels. If we're not able to even say radical Islam, the word radical Islam, there's no way we can fight it. There's no way we can defeat it. The United States of America doesn't lead from behind. We are always setting the example. If not, we're going to see terrorism get bigger and bigger, and eventually it's just going to be continual lone wolf attacks in the United States. And I don't want that to happen to my kids. I don't want to see my family go through that. Please join me in waking up Washington in this fight on radical Islam, seeing the threat that it really is. Sign up at leadingfromthefront.org.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to watch a broadcast, go to Reaver.1, click on the live stream. While you're there, you can also join the live chat. So you can watch broadcasts, listen to the broadcast, and join the live chat all at one site. That is Reaver.1. Click on the live stream. Now, if you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to Reaver.1/shop. That is REAVER.ONE/SHOP. And we have a special guest that's calling in. What's up, Crash? Been a long time.
Yeah, well, it's because I actually work for a living other than sitting on my lazy ass like you.
All right, smartass.
It's been a while. I had to throw at least one punchline in there. Now I'm back at the college again, so I'm going to try to get back to my weekly call-ins to harass your daytime listeners.
So
I just wanted to say viewers.
Well, some are viewers, some are listeners.
No, that's true. That's true.
So, we talked briefly off air, and I had just talked about it prior to going to break, that Hillary Clinton's new excuse, the new excuse for anybody that is against her, it is a right-wing extremist conspiracy theory machine factory. I love the... She's trying the age-old factor of throw a negative to try to protect her.
Honestly, the funny thing is, I actually like that. You know why I like it? Because she specifically made mention that it's a factory. So it's production. We're making something. Gee, why wouldn't you like something in America that actually produces something? Freaking idiot. Send everything overseas. Goddamn peanut. I'm a shop foreman, damn it. There.
The other thing that I came across today...
Her statements are just stupid. Sorry.
No, like I said, it's the old thing of try to throw a negative that you can't disprove. Just throw that out there, because how are you going to fight that you're not a conspiracy theorist? I mean, there's only so much you could say and do to prove that you're going at it with facts. The people that are... I mean, I still can't believe there's people that blatantly, they know she did wrong. They know she did illegal, but they just don't give a shit. They just keep backing her. I mean, I think she could go out there and take a shit on stage and say, this is my foreign policy, and they'd be like, oh, look at that. She's so brave.
Honestly, I think a big part of it is people support things for different reasons. And some people, they support one person over another because they have no support for the opponent. And I've heard that one numerous times. I hate Trump so much that I'll back Clinton. Okay, well, what do you hate about it? And now, 90% of the time, he's a racist. Here we go with that BS again. But, I mean, there's other times where people, it's something that might have some credence, they feel that he didn't do right by, different businesses. They disagree with his policy, and they disagree with it to such an extent that they're willing to back Clinton. Okay, fine. You know what? I may not agree with you, but I can give some credence to your thought process because you've had one. You're actually listening and looking and trying to make an informed decision. Even if it's different than what I come up with, at least you're still making an attempt.
Yeah.
But these blatantly blind followings of, she's empowering women, or, I don't like his toupee, he's racist, well, she's a feminist and she'll bring us, forward. And honestly, you're not voting for the right reasons at that point.
I love that one. So you're going to vote because she's a female, but if I vote for Trump because he's a male, I'm a sexist and you're not.
Well, now the funny thing is, remember back to Obama when he first ran. I want to say, I can be corrected if I'm wrong, but I want to say it was his first term. When he was running under his first term, there was this whole big power movement with, I don't want to say BLM because I don't think they were.
No, they weren't
I don't
even
think
around.
It was them. But it was essentially one of those counter movements, and it didn't portray itself as anything extreme or violent or nothing else, but it was just empowering, that society. Okay, fine. And I remember seeing a thing, and it was all these young men, and they were essentially doing this whole pledge thing of, I'm going to be an engineer because of Obama. I'm going to be a doctor because of Obama. Because Obama says I can. It's like, whoever told you couldn't be, first of all?
Yeah.
I mean, please tell me, who was telling you in your life that you could not be an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher? Okay? If they, all of a sudden, just because Obama got elected, all these things are now available to you? No. That's BS.
It was always there before.
That's all it is.
That's how we got a black president, a black
changed.
Department of Justice. And the list goes on and on because I love it. You go to these cities that are having these issues and BLM's jumping in and there's oppression. And what do you get? You get the black president stepping up, the black head of DOJ, and the black police chiefs coming along, and the black mayors coming along. And yes, there's so much oppression. Listen, is there some issues still? Yes, there always will be. You're not going to stamp out racism. As much as I would love to see it gone, you're always going to have some kind of racism, period. And that actually brings me, I was discussing it a little bit, but I want your take on it. There's a college in California now that is offering segregated housing.
Yeah, bullshit.
And how many great leaders died just so that they could end segregation? Well, what it seems to me is the Democrats, who have been the party of oppressing the black people, they lost for 50, 60 years, but they figured out a way to get the black people to oppress themselves now.
Honestly, what I think it is, I mean, I hate to put it this way, but this is about the only way I can put it. Is, we've been, whether they're individuals, whether they were organizations, ideology, whatever it is, there's always been push from both sides. Segregation versus desegregation. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're talking about ethnic backgrounds, you're talking about the color of your skin, the gender of your plumbing. It never matters. There's always going to be some proponent of one side over the other. But overall, in society, most people have agreed with, we need to put this behind us. We need to get rid of this. We need to eliminate this. And there's been such a push for it for so long, and I think in a lot of cases there's been so much success with it that you're having trouble pitting one side against the other. Well, the easiest way to prove a need for anything is for there to be some type of conflict in a system. If you remove all the conflict, what need do you have for conflict resolution? You put sprinklers in every damn building, what need do you have for active firefighting units? Need for plumbers is going to go up. Yes, you're still going to have some firefighters, but not as many. Well, if you remove any type of conflict, what need do you have for all of the resolution sides of it? The lawyers, the judges, the judicial system, police officers. I mean, in essence, it actually serves, in certain circles, it serves government for conflicts to exist. They don't want them completely eliminated. I mean, and honestly, I think that's very evident with how a lot of these areas are managed. I mean, I've seen it even just on a local scale. You get the certain neighborhoods, cops they're not as common. They don't do patrols in those areas unless they have to, for one reason or another. Trash pickup. No, we're not going to, we'll only come down once a month, or once every 2 weeks. No, you should take your stuff to the dump. But the people on the other side of the street will pick up their trash because, their houses are nicer, they make more money, so it's more worth it for us. I mean, I hate to put it that way, but you know what? That's based on economics. You're segregating people. Some of it makes sense. Some of it I can understand and buy into. A lot of it, I think it's just nothing more than propaganda bullshit.
Nah, that never happens.
Never. Sorry, was that the take you were looking for?
It blows my fucking mind, and I can't believe some of these idiots that buy into this crap. I really can't. It's scary. It's scary. Sorry, I had a brain fart. I was looking at something else while you were talking. One of the other things I wanted to bring up today was also there's now email evidence that during the Benghazi hearings, with one of the congressional hearings, one of the Democratic senators, Robert Mendez, who at the time was acting as chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee, his questions were prepped by the Hillary team. They sent him the questions they wanted him to ask her.
What state is he a representative from again?
Robert Mendez. I want to say New Jersey.
Bob Menendez, North Jersey, I believe, if I'm correct.
I think so. The one that was investigated for going out of country for sex with minor boys or something like that. And yes, he is the senator from New Jersey.
That's the whole reason why I brought up one. Which state is he a senator from? I got a lot of problems with my state legislature, so I'll just be perfectly honest with you. I don't trust a goddamn one of them. Actually, I don't really trust many politicians.
And it was the questions. I'm trying to find exactly. I'm looking through. They wanted him to ask her a question so that she could debunk her actions and whereabouts on 9/11s.
Wait, what?
Wait.
So we're talking about the Benghazi 9/11, not
Yes.
WBC.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That's why at first it threw me. I was like, huh?
Can you believe it's almost 15 years? Well, it's going to be 15 years.
Next week.
It just blew my mind when I saw that it was 15 years. It's like, holy shit.
That's been a decade and a half.
Mendez asked
for
Clinton's insight on the decision-making process regarding the location of the mission. Can you also, in your response, you touched upon it in your opening statement, but what actions were you and your staff taking the night of September 11th and into September 12th? How many people get the opportunity when they're being investigated to have the investigators ask the questions that you want asked?
That doesn't happen. There's a reason why that doesn't happen.
No, and this, for number one, Senator Mendez should be censured. He should be punished for doing this. He showed partiality. He showed that he doesn't have the mental capacity to be an adult. And he is just as corrupt as she is within this. And he's just as complacent for allowing stuff like that to happen. He's helping cover it up. So that, to me, that makes him complacent. We had discussed on sanctuary cities that they should be charged. Criminal enterprise, I believe, was the term you used.
In regards to what?
Sanctuary cities. You had brought up that within sanctuary cities, the politicians should be charged with.
Sanctuary cities.
Yes.
Yeah, engaging in a criminal enterprise, harboring a fugitive.
Can't go underneath they would have to go underneath the RICO. Criminal enterprise, you have to be engaged in illegal drug activities. It's actually one of the major components for the criminal.
For engaging in a criminal enterprise, it has to be drug related. Okay. How about aiding and abetting a criminal?
Well, there's that. There's also the RICO, because underneath the RICO, they're making money off of illegal activity.
But it's not being specifically tied to drugs, so...
Right, but RICO doesn't have to be tied to drugs. It has to deal with... It's a wide... term for organized crime, and really...
RICO, if I remember correctly, RICO is just if there's, organized crime, so multiple areas that cross various disciplines. If I remember correctly, it can be put underneath RICO. A lot of times, yes, it is drugs, but it can be anything.
Yeah.
Because if it's just one specific crime, if it's just drugs, it's drug charges. If it's just guns, it's gun charges. If it's just human slavery, then it's those. But if you start putting them together, that's when you start getting RICO.
Now, you want to hear the real funny part, and I can't remember the senator's name. There's a Democrat senator that came out. You know, we've heard Democrat senators, congressmen all across the board, Democrats, talking about sanctuary cities. Now, this one came out because the polls are showing that there's no popularity in these sanctuary cities, and it's actually hurting Clinton. There's no such thing as sanctuary cities. That's a conspiracy from the right wing. There's no such thing.
It's on a government website.
I know.
They got all the locations.
I know that, but now all of a sudden it's we don't do sanctuary cities. We don't help cover up illegal activities.
Yeah, and you've had mayors and governors and all other whatever the hell you want to call them, say that we will not participate with ICE. We will not support these people. Oh, yeah, they got kicked out 4 times. We've arrested them 4 times. No, that's right. We didn't cooperate with federal authorities. Oh, crap. Yeah, they just shot somebody? Well, that sucks. But we did not cooperate with federal... Sorry, I would love to be able to turn around and tell a federal law enforcement agency, no, I'm not going to cooperate with you, and just be able to go along with my life.
I'll allow you to question me, but I will not be put under oath. It will not be recorded. There will be no written statements. Nothing will be in media. Nothing. Everything will have to be classified. You won't be able to speak about it.
Yeah, as much as I think that people are pushing this one thing a little bit too far with essentially just being dicks with it, I am starting to see some of the appeal with using this whole sovereign citizen thing to try to push back against all this overreaching authority. I can see some of the appeal with it, but I think most people are just being complete dicks with it. Like, just that whole... No, this isn't what I am. I'm not classified as this. You don't have any rights over me. Who gave you power to tell me what to do? Now, like I said, I think part of it's being a dick, but I can see some of the appeal. Because on the flip side, if I'm going to say that nobody has any power over me, that also means they have nothing. And I should take no benefit from them as well.
Well,
so it is a two-way street.
Yeah, well, when you look at it, Hillary Clinton, and I was bringing up about Hillary Clinton being interviewed by the FBI on that, Sunday afternoon. She laid down the terms of her giving a statement. It would not be under oath. You know, there was no recording of any device. You know, it was controlled on the question. Everything was controlled by Hillary. What criminal or what person of interest
or an investigator would have actually allowed that? Yeah, I know.
No, yeah, but I can't sit there if I'm being investigated. I can't lay down the terms saying you're not going to do this and you're not going to do that. FBI, as they've done to me once, went, "Fuck you, we'll do whatever we want." This is showing you want to see white privilege. You want to see white privilege? Look at that bitch right in her face, and that's white privilege. Look at Bill Clinton's face. That's white privilege.
Personally, I'd rather not look at either.
I know. Well, that's like, someone drew a naked picture of Donald Trump, and everybody thought it was funny, so someone said, okay, well, you want to think it's funny, and they drew a picture of Hillary Clinton naked. I was told when I put it on Twitter, I should have put a disclaimer on it, because several people ended up throwing up from it.
Oh, God. What was it, the Crypt Keeper with her face?
No, just someone actually did a portrait of her standing naked with a bottle of wine or something in her hand, and it
oh, dude, I'm driving. Come on, man.
I'm losing sight while I'm driving.
Oh, God.
I know. I'm such a sexist for talking about this. I'm so sexist.
Yeah, sex isn't something that's been coming to my mind for a while now. Thank you very much.
Planned Parenthood's new contraception.
Oh, man. That's contraception. I mean, Christ, that's probably one of the pictures they show at the intake day for being a monk. That sure as hell make you never want to use it again.
I don't want to have sex again. No, I got Hillary. Well, that's like I put up that picture, and here's my little shout out. Put a picture of Hillary and try jerking off to that tonight. Now that. Now, I have all the figures that I talked about earlier before we got talking about this stuff. But all the figures I talked about earlier about why I think Trump is ahead right now in the polls. There's one other one. The anti-Hillary merchandise is outselling the anti-Trump gear by an 8-to-1, well, above an 8-to-1 ratio. 814%. People are buying up. It just blows my mind. So what is that? 800 shirts to one shirt of Trump?
Well, anyway, if it's 8-to-1, did you say 8-to-1 or 800-to-1?
814.88%.
Oh yeah. That's freaking ridiculous.
That,
yeah, oh my God, I didn't know that one. That's funny. That's actually damn funny.
But I'm sorry, these polls that they're showing on the national level from Fox to CNN, these things are not anywhere near. I
can't even.
Oh, look at. You're talking the rallies for the month of August. Trump did like 32 or 33 rallies. Had 150 to 200,000 people show up, but it averaged out to like 6,000 per rally showing up. Hillary Clinton did like 11 or 12 and had like 40,000 people show up. You know, the numbers are ridiculous. She was in Tampa yesterday or the day before and flipped it on real quick. And there was like maybe 100 people showed up. Time and time again, she has rallies and maybe 100 people show up to it. He holds them. He gets several thousand. He has done 10,000 before at one rally. And it's usually because the venues are too small to handle the people that show up for it.
Honestly, I know we've beaten this horse a few times in the past, but I can't help but going back to it periodically. It's just that look at the mentality of the supporters on each side. You know, I mean, we've seen the videos of, kids ripping up Trump signs and defacing private property, and nothing's being done about it. And that's considered, that's just, that's his freedom of speech. That's his freedom of right. That's his freedom of expression. Yet, Trump supporters, when they protest Clinton, they're not saying anything. They're talking. They might be yelling or being loud and stuff like that, but they're not actively trying to vandalize anything.
Wow.
And I saw a picture last week of a guy's pickup truck. And not, some old beater. I mean, this was like a nice, newer, probably in the past 5-6 years model. So you're probably talking what? For a full-size, big 20, 30 grand vehicle? Especially if it's one of the decent models. He had a Trump sticker on the back of it. They spray painted the whole thing. BLM, Trump sucks, he's a racist, F Trump, and there was some note or something else left that said something along the lines of, this is for your bumper sticker. You just destroyed the guy's car because of a goddamn bumper sticker? I'm sorry, and you think that you're going to get any sympathy as a supporter from me?
That's that.
You're going to get sympathy from... The only sympathy is going to be whether or not I wear steel-toed or non-steel-toed, or I shove a food up your ass.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I don't. That's like the old man in New Jersey that got beat in the parking lot of Friendly's with a crowbar because he had a Trump shirt on. And the guy was like 68 years old and was beat by a young man just because of the shirt he was wearing. And the ones that are violent, and the Democrats have caused this problem, they're the ones that stirred up their base. They have been creating this militia, Democrat militia. I mean, think about it. The Democrat Party got away with it because they're not frowned upon nowadays. They created the KKK as a militia arm of the Democrat Party. And what do they have now? They have the BLM. And the same thing, they're trying to intimidate voters. They're trying to intimidate Republican voters.
Yeah. I mean, what we've already seen, we've seen it at the primaries already. We've seen it at polling stations. I mean, okay, yes. Now, legally, at a lot of these places, for the primaries and stuff like that, you can be essentially you can be supporting one candidate over another within a boundary. During the general elections, you can't.
Yeah, during elections.
For the most part, most places don't allow you to do it because it's bad form. Yeah, we've seen it time and time again that Clinton supporters, they're all over it. But you throw a Trump supporter in there, you can't discuss this within 100 feet of the polling station. What? The person collecting signatures has a vote Hillary thing on the back of a clipboard. Oh, no, she doesn't. No, she doesn't.
Yeah, it's
like, come on. You're handing out propaganda. I mean, essentially, you're refusing to even talk to anybody that disagrees with you. You're intimidating people. That's who I want in charge of my country. No. Hell with that. You want to talk about voting for somebody because I disagree full-heartedly with somebody else? Guess what? You're doing a goddamn good job.
Well, listen, we got to go on break real quick, so you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, Red Nation Rising, ICRN, YouTube, iTunes, and Spreaker. We'll be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
My name is Chris Peranto, call sign Tonto. I was with the Global Response Staff. We were the security element for the Central Intelligence Agency in Benghazi, Libya on 9/11/2012. Myself and my team responded to an attack that killed Ambassador Chris Stevens, Sean Smith, and two of my teammates, Tyrone Woods and Glenn Doherty. Radical Islam is basically terrorism in a nutshell. It wants to not only put down Western values, it wants to kill anybody that supports those Western values, which is freedom, which is Christianity, and which is also anything that looks poorly on Sharia law. We've allowed it again to grow into something that it shouldn't be, and it's becoming stronger and stronger every day that we don't lead from the front. Obama and Hillary, by avoiding the phrase radical Islam, they're being politically correct. They don't see it for what it is, and that's straight up destroying the Western world. Radical Islam doesn't have a fear. They will give up their lives. They will detonate themselves. They will do anything they can to fulfill Sharia law and kill the infidels. If we're not able to even say radical Islam, the word radical Islam, there's no way we can fight it. There's no way we can defeat it. The United States of America doesn't lead from behind. We are always setting the example. If not, we're going to see terrorism get bigger and bigger, and eventually it's just going to be continual lone wolf attacks in the United States. And I don't want that to happen to my kids. I don't want to see my family go through that. Please join me in waking up Washington in this fight on radical Islam, seeing the threat that it really is. Sign up at leadingfromthefront.org.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, now making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover's here. We have expanded it to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to support the show, or if you just want some kick-ass t-shirts, go to reaver.one/shop. That is REAVER.ONE/SHOP. Now, one thing I want to get with you, Crash, before you leave is Hillary's coughing fit. She goes into these major coughing fits. Something is wrong.
It's not allergies like she says it is. I know she tried making a joke saying that she's allergic to Trump. I think she's just getting allergic to her own bullshit, but she's been getting into these severe coughing fits and then gets upset when people bring up and start questioning about her health. I'm trying to figure out what could possibly cause that. I mean, I've read from allergies could, but not to that degree.
It could be, honestly, it could be numerous factors. It could also be a compounding issue where it's allergies combined with dry air environment. Especially if she's in the middle of a speech or something like that, that actually could be a very plausible explanation. I know, I teach. Part of teaching is you're lecturing sometimes for a little while. I always have to keep a bottle of water with me because if I don't, and especially if the air is drier in a classroom, I'll start, I'll not massive coughing fits, not like her, but I'll cough a couple of times, and I got to wet my throat again because it dries out. More often than not, though, you can have the compounding factors, but those are generally short-lived, too. You're not going to have that at every single venue over an extended period of time because you can't reproduce that way. So that's not as likely. I'd go to an ailment, something like a COPD, some type of respiratory disease process.
Now, one I did see was acid reflux could cause it, too.
Okay.
Because with the allergies, from enclosed environments, she's gotten into those coughing planes. She got into a coughing plane on an airplane, 30,000 feet up in the air, pressurized cabin.
Not to mention, with how she's flying, that's going to be all, cycled air. It's all, sanitized out and, all the rest of that stuff. Christ, the air in her airplane is going to be better than what most of us breathe on a daily basis.
Yeah, and that's the thing. She's getting these coughing fits, and I'm not going to say it's environmental like an allergy or something because it's happening in different areas and different environments and in enclosed environments she's getting them.
Like I said, it's I wouldn't completely rule it out 100%, but I think it's very, very unlikely. It's the simplest explanation to give that everybody can relate to and nobody would question.
Right.
But beyond that, no, it really doesn't add up. Some type of disease process is much more likely, especially something that's constricting airflow or that's causing damage to your windpipe. That's going to be the most likely. Especially if she's got shortness of breath or anything else, then I would absolutely say it's some type of lung disease. Something in there. Especially if she's got shortness of breath or anything along those lines.
It's something. Something's going on, and the fact that she's not coming out with any medical forms, that has me a little worried. So.
The fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter which candidate you go for. They're both older. They're both going to have health issues. All presidents,
I understand that, but if you're hiding something, that says there's something serious that you don't want to know. If there wasn't anything major, you wouldn't be hiding it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, anybody that's running for a political office, I guess, they could be worried about perceived weakness and this, that, and the other thing. We've had presidents hide wheelchairs and, other things like that to different extents just because of that type of worry. But at the end of the day, I don't know. You're running for that type of office. Essentially, your life's an open book.
Yeah.
It's open to the American people. I'm electing you, I'm endorsing you, whatever you want to call it, for you to represent me to the world and run the country for 4 years. I think I've got a right to know. But that's me. And I've been told quite frequently I'm an asshole, so I can go with that. But I'm at my shop now, so we get running. And we on tonight?
Yeah.
All right. Harass you all later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. All right, everybody. That was Crash. It's been a while since he's been able to call in. It's this election has really taken a new tune, and it has nothing to do with Trump. It has to deal with the fact that the country is so split. Everybody is passionate about their candidate, and like I said, I truly feel that the Democrats have militarized a division again, and it's not a good thing. It really isn't. Let's see, where are we at? Hopefully everybody's seen that, and I touched on it earlier. Merkel has defeated herself, says populist leaders after election drumming. After the Alternative for Germany, the AfD Populist Party handed Angela Merkel's CDU party a humiliating defeat in her home state Sunday. The victors are saying that the chancellor brought this on herself with her woeful immigration policy. The CDU fell to third place in the election behind the ruling Socialist Party, followed by the up-and-coming AfD, which gained an impressive 21% relative to the 2011 election. Angela Merkel defeats herself, announced populist leader on television Monday morning, commenting on the success of her AfD party in Merkelberg that, in her view, oh boy, I almost went the whole day without it stuttering, and now here we are. Constitutes a personal defeat for the chancellor. Long story short, she tried to push this socialism too far. She tried to push this globalism too far. The people were bitching. The politicians are not listening anymore. They're not listening across the board. And the people are rebelling. The people are fighting back. I can't believe they got to see it. These politicians have to see it. They can't be that dumb. Well, yeah, maybe they can. I don't know. It's getting... It's a weird country out there. The real world, everything is just really crazy anymore. There's no stability anywhere. Our country is in, I think, worse turmoil than we want to admit. I think things are even the ones that are pointing out the negatives, like myself. It's not that I don't like the country. No, I'm pointing out issues that are going on in this country. And I think it's still worse than what I point out, because I don't want to see anything worse with this country. Now we're also finding out with Hillary that a laptop with the entire Clinton email archive was, quote-unquote, lost in the mail. Both an Apple laptop and a thumb drive containing the 2013 archive of former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's email was lost after being put in the mail and never provided to the FBI, according to the agency's documents of its investigation into the Clintons' mishandling of classified information. Justin Cooper, longtime aide to former Bill Clinton, provided the laptop of the Clinton Foundation to former Clinton aide Monica Hanley for archiving Clinton's emails, according to the FBI documentation. Cooper assisted Hanley in archiving the emails from the Magnolian server to the laptop and a thumb drive in spring 2013. The two devices were supposed to go to Clinton's Chappaquiddick and Whitehaven residencies, but Hanley forgot to give them to Clinton's staff. Hanley had made the transfer of emails to the two devices from her home, and that is where they remained until she found the laptop again in early 2014. She worked with an undisclosed person to get the laptop to the PRN, Platte River Networks, shipping the laptop in February 2014 after an attempt to transfer them remotely failed. FBI documents redacted the identity of the persons who residence the laptop was sent to. This time, the laptop made it to its destination, and the entirety of the Clinton email archive was transferred first to a personal Google Gmail address he created. The email content was then downloaded to the mailbox MRC archives on the PRN server, according to the FBI. A person's name who was redacted in the FBI documentation told the agency that after the email archive was transferred, the emails were deleted, but he did not wipe the laptop. The person further told the FBI that on Hanley's instruction, he shipped the laptop using either the United States Postal Service or UPS to Redacted, who was Clinton's redacted at the time. FBI documentation then states Redacted told the FBI that she never received the laptop from Redacted. However, she advised that Clinton staff was moving offices at the time, and it would have been easy for the package to get lost during the transition period. Neither Hanley nor Redacted could identify the current whereabouts of the archived laptop or thumb drive containing the archive, and the FBI does not have either items in its possession. And this woman wants to be president. Of the 13 mobile devices determined by the FBI to be associated with the Clinton.com email address, requested by the Department of Justice, none were provided. DOJ made the request to Clinton's legal counsel, Williams and Connolly, on February 9th, 2016, and received a reply back on February 22nd that they could not locate any of the devices. The FBI was thus unable to investigate the content of them. Of 5 iPads the FBI identified as associated with Clinton, just 3 were obtained by the agency, according to the FBI documentation. It is beyond scary. And anybody thinks that all these items were lost by accident, please contact me because I have a bridge for sale that I would like to sell you. And I also have a couple planets that I already own. I cannot believe the gullibility of the people that actually believe this bullshit. It's not because it's Clinton. It's because, well, this story is so full of bullshit, full of holes, It's disgusting. Our FBI has lost all credibility. They played ball with a political figure. Comey, well, James Comey, he won't lose no sleep over what I have to say, but the man has no credibility. The man is about honorable, well, as a Clinton. Whatever he got in exchange for help covering all this up, I hope he is happy, because he screwed the country over for a criminal. He swore to uphold certain laws, certain rights, and he stabbed Lady Liberty right in the back. It is sick, disgusting, vile that our FBI bent over like a cheap crack whore for a politician. I have no use for anyone, right, left, center, I don't give a shit, that's willing to sell the country out like he did. There's blind men that can see the injustice that are going on. This is not about Trump. This is about a family that is now above all the laws. And even the Kennedys knew there was a limit of how far to push it. And Bill and Hillary don't care. They don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about me. They don't give a shit about this country. If they can make a dime, they will do whatever they want. And with that, it is that time. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me. Again, I apologize for the hectic schedule of the show lately. It's, well, real life sometimes rears its ugly head. And with that, I want to say have a great day to everybody, and talk to you soon. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.